Okay, so this is the second video in a kind of series where we kind of go over Skyward Sword, Randomizer, and the strategy behind it. The first video was about efficiency. This video is about dungeons and just general like progression, and by progression I mean things you kind of have to do. So we'll be kind of focusing on that, and this will be done in a kind of full run with standard settings. For those on where standard settings is like 3 dungeons, most things most checks contain progression items except for cubes, mini games, and Metro 50. And there's a few small things like one tablet being open at the start, closed Thunderhead, open LMF and open Earth Temple, stuff like that. And of course, disclaimer: I don't pretend to be the best in the world because I'm not. There are people who can route far better than me. But this is like I have no prior knowledge of the seed, so I could completely mess this up. The seed can like completely not cooperate with me whatsoever. But you know, we're gonna give it our best shot, and if you learn something, then that would be actually pretty cool. But I don't know. Again, depends on depends if the seed wants to like shit on me, because I might say yeah, let's do one thing, and then it's gonna do something else. Anyway, so yeah, you know, I will talk about other things, but I'm gonna try and talk about everything centered around dungeons today and stuff like that. So let's go. Right. So also Monka battery. I do have spare batteries here with me because I'm someone who likes to let their batteries run out. But yeah, okay. So now, in the first video, I talked a lot about efficiency, about kind of following the amount of checks, like the golden rule, as I said, which I'll repeat. Weird camera change, yeah. But I'll repeat the golden rule here. The golden rule is basically, if there are more checks somewhere, go to that place. So, and the example I gave, I'll give the same example. Eldin has 10 checks, Lanayru has 5. You should go to Eldin, because it's like 10 out of 15 chance, and then the 5 out of 15 chance. Thanks for random tips? Yeah, no problem. LMF Ancient System Fire Sanctuary. I've had that dungeon combination so many times. Like, I have not had an Earth Temple seed in ages. But yeah, so it's seriously like LMF or Sanctuary. Those two dungeons have had like in like the last bajillion seeds. But yeah, so yeah, golden rule basically, if someone has more checks, go there, and like a 10 out of 15 chance is always more likely going to have more things than a 5 out of 15. But as I said yesterday, not yesterday, the last time I filmed this, from the first video, there is still that 5 out of 15 chance. And again, these videos will try to kind of mitigate choosing wrong. It is a randomizer at the end of the day, and all you can do as the player is just make the informed choice. Not because the correct play will determine where the item is placed, but if you make the informed choice, you're most likely to come out on top most of the time. Dungeons are kind of late game stuff, so for now I'm just going to kind of be repeating what I just said in the first game, or first video. So yeah, Skyloft 1, very scripted. It's kind of, you know, just like, yeah, just kind of do Academy, then Skyloft, then kind of just yeet yourself out of there and into your next region. Again, I don't know the quite specifics. I just know that it's what other people do, and it saves time, and it just makes sense. So you know, I'm not someone who tries to like craft new strategies. I kind of just like follow what the meta does. Meta get, just kidding. So yeah, it's just like that sort of thing, right? I just try to like follow what other people do, because normally if like other top runners are doing it, it's usually fast, even if it doesn't make quite sense, even if it doesn't like quite make sense. And I guess there is like some reasoning behind it, because going back to Village or Betrow is like incredibly likely, and for example with Betrow it's always a better idea to get to it when you have more crystals, and with the Village, I can't really do anything in the Village right now, so you know, it's like, it must be more likely that something will be in my next region pointing to Village, maybe. So yeah, again, very scripted, literally like no deviation yet from the first seed. There might be some if I like get like claw shots. I might check like a gossip hint, just a hint stone, those things. I might check like that, those things. There might be, yeah, like some small deviation, but for the most part it's like Academy, Skyloft, then next region. Right, whip, I'll take that. I've had a lot of seeds recently where Whip's been a really obscure place, so I'm really glad to get it first. And I will just talk about the pillar with stuff. So some with a Lanayru pillar, which is probably like the least favorite pillar of just about everyone. No one likes it because it's only got like one check-in logic. One thing I can do now actually is I can do a decent chunk of LMF because I have Whip, and it's like not in logic though. and I'll probably like discuss why I may or may not do that later, but when I have like the words for it. Game just took the word straight out of my mouth. Okay, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. No. Right. So. Yeah. So that was. I don't know what to say. That was cool. So the deviation you'll see me do is get a hit zone up right here on the island here. And I guess okay to make small deviations. Like I think following it too much is not the best idea, but you know you don't want to like go off and do your own thing. Unless you have a specifically good reason to, or like some hint or tell you to do whatever. Yep, so. Yeah. Also with the claw shots, it does actually put linear in logic, so. Or LMF in logic, I mean. Okay. Sword in Gust Brothers 2 and Betroth Spirit. Okay. Writing down hints is also kind of just sucky, because playing game and writing it down on Bellows 2. Of course you don't have to write down hints, I just do because I don't trust my brain with information. Jazz X%, let's go. He would be happy. Not quite sub 5 minutes, but you know. He'd still approve of the bug net, I guess. Oh my god, dude. I'm so good at this game. Okay, Mogulmit's in like 5 minutes, so that's nice. It's like, yep, makes sense, I guess. So writing down some other things like one other thing I write down as well is just kind of what has been Spirit of the Sword, so I don't like. So like, it's easy to forget if you get something from Academy and go, was that like, and then get another Spirit of the Sword like late game and go, is it pointed to like the checks there, or is it something I've redone? So I don't know. I just like to write it down so it like, again, I don't trust my brain with certain knowledge because it's just gonna forget. I've lost way too many races where my brain has just forgotten stuff. Anyway, so you know. That's what I was saying. So yeah, Skyloft 1 very scripted. Now we're in the sky, so now I'll do a few sky stuff, and then right now I'm going to be like, whilst I'm going around, I'm going to be kind of like picking my region or where I'm going next. Eldin Trial. Okay, LMF. So LMF, write it down, and Eldin Trial. I'm gonna. If anything's like dead, I just mark it on the tracker. I don't need to write it down specifically. So yeah, okay. So let's evaluate. We have 4 things we can do on Skyloft with a Betroth Spirit of the Sword. But we have way more things we can do in the desert with the Lineary Spirit of the Sword. And so right now it's likely I'll go to Lineary, right? And I'll explain a little bit more about kind of like how I treat Lineary or the LMF right now in terms of the early game when I get to it. But okay, Chest and Shack and okay. Chest and Shack and Owlan's. That's like French vanilla, because in the vanilla game, Owlan gives you Spiral Charge. What was the first one? Chest and Shack, there we go. What's that one? What's this? Useful. Big rattle, let's go. I don't know why it's so big, but I mean, you know, I guess it makes it easier to see, so I'm not complaining. Okay, I didn't remember picking up a blue rupee. We did from a chest, I think, yeah. Okay, so again, counting checks, following the golden rule this early on. I talked about all this stuff in the efficiency video, but that's kind of, you know, what we're trying to do here. So there's 8, 9, 10, 11 checks we can get in logic versus like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now it's almost to get do that, and you'll notice. Okay, you probably won't notice because you can't see the tracker, but there's 10 right now in regular Nehru, but there's 1 in LMF. I do. Okay, so this is just kind of like a weird quirk of me, but I do count like. Oh, that's a really awkward tornado. I do count like dungeons, along with like their appropriate regions Okay, Beetle's Crystals is dead, and okay, that's a really good hint. That's also dead. Yeah, I do count. Like at least for the early game, I especially do count like those types of hints along with like. Okay, I'll start the sentence again. I'll count those dungeons along with the area. Because it's like, you know, especially if it's a required dungeon, it kind of makes sense. Because, you know, like, if you're going to that area anyway, just not doing it kind of, like, in some... Unless it's, like, really far out of the way, it's kind of just, like, glorified, orphaning. And so it, like, doesn't really make too much, like, sense to not count it from what I've learned. So, yeah. Just check this, and then... Okay, so now I'm probably going to explain why I'm thinking about going to Lanayru plus LMF, right? So, in the early game... I kind of treat required dungeons as just like any, or just dungeons anyway for that matter, as kind of like any other region that can house items. It's quite common to see some people want to delay dungeons a lot, and that's kind of why I don't like rush them. I'm not rushing LMF. I'm only really going to LMF because the rest of the region is more likely to have items. Again, the golden rule. Like I'm not rushing it because if I delay it by just a little bit when it makes sense to, there is a very small chance that I'll be able to go mode it. Or at the very least, skip a few checks, like getting like a hint for boss key, for example. Just like those things, right? Just like delaying dungeons a little bit, not like, of course, too much, because then again because sometimes like if an item is in a dungeon, then you kind of like, then you're fucked. But it's like just like delaying them about as much as any other region. Like again, just treating them as like any other region for now in the early game, and just following the golden rule. About is there more checks somewhere, just go there. And right now there's more checks in Lanayru. And as LMF is essentially in the middle of Lanayru, I'm going to do that. Okay, Con's later, so that's cool. Yeah, hopefully that made sense. But yeah, basically just for the game, I like to treat dungeons as kind of like any other region. And they're kind of connected to, like, LMF's connected, like LMF's in Satchip, I connect to Lanayru, Fire Sanctuary and Earth Temple is Eldin and so on. And I take them into account when I'm, like, counting regions. And yes, this can, I think that the thing is that, like, it can open up double-dipping dungeons by doing them too early. Which is why, again, I say, like, you want to try and find the balance between, like, rushing them and delaying them, I think. And I think, I'm repeating myself at this point. Yeah, by following the golden rule, right? It does that. And, let's check. I think that a lot of people try not to double dip, like they avoid double dipping like the plague, although if you do double dipping correctly, it isn't like a bad idea. Purely because dungeons are usually things that you have to do, and by going to them more than once, yes, it's like inconvenient routing, but it's like you don't like lose time specifically because you would likely have done those checks anyway. Maybe in a more efficient manner, so again, it's like, you should want to double dip anywhere, but it's like, you also shouldn't want to like avoid double dipping like the plague. I'm actually gonna I'm actually gonna route Lanayru in a very specific way that kind of like sets me up to avoid it a little bit better if I find like gas bellows in there. Because right now I can't full clear everything in LMF. I can only do like 2 checks if that. So actually I can't even beat it because I still need bow or beetle to beat it. So again, right now it's just kind of like treat it as any other region, and you know, again, just like more checks with that. I'm hoping this makes sense. Someone in chat say if this makes sense or not. Oh my god, really? Oh, none fuck, why? Yeah, that's annoying. Make sense? Nice. No. It's hard to ramble when playing games. I could probably do these things way more efficiently, but I like doing it as I like doing them as oh my god. Yeah, I know. I like doing these videos as I'm playing, because it's like, it gives me something to talk about. And also, it's like much easier to bang these out than like a fully edited video. Although, the one on execution, that will be like a fully edited video, because it's kind of hard to talk about execution specifically when you're doing it, unlike just talking through a normal run. Right. So again, you know, talking about dungeons, of course, but I'm also like, you know, still doing the other things, efficiency, and also just like looking at my tracker a few times. Is there anything I might have missed No, I don't think there is right now. Okay, so heart piece. And yeah, noticeably got that out of logic, so if that was anything, I'd usually write it down. I tend to, again, I'll discuss this more in the logic video, which is the next one. But I'll, like, if I find anything out of logic, I normally write it down so that I kind of know that, like, I know if I'm in or out of a logical loop, basically. Alright, so we are here. Okay, I had an idea of how to route this. I'm hoping that this works. I just thought of this like 5 seconds ago. Yes, I'll do it this way. This way might be a little bit sketchy, but it should set me up very well on how I can not double dip LMF in case I find like Gust Bellows anywhere around here. If I find Gust Bellows here, then I'm just gonna go straight to LMF. I'm just not gonna do what I'm talking about. But again, it's like on small scale, you should try to like again like kind of do like a little bit of like funky routing to avoid stuff like this. Game, you shouldn't have. Okay, whatever. Okay, so what I was actually going to do is I was actually going to go round it clockwise. Normally it's like, normally you kind of go around anti-clockwise or counterclockwise. But it's like, I think if I did that, I would have got to LMF sooner, and then had like Gust Bellows been in the caves, then that would have been like quite bad, and I'll have to go back. But if you did everything clockwise, then LMF would be the last thing you did. So then, by delaying it by like just a little bit on the small scale, I would essentially like reduce my chances of double dipping. Lizzie G asked a good question in chat. Do I try to stay on logic as much as possible? I'll discuss this more in the next video, but I will answer this question here. Basically, when I'm choosing where to go, I'll tend to only count in logic checks because it's like when you kind of choose where to go, you kind of have to like make an educated. It's basically making an educated guess on like where to go, basically, or where items are rather. Oh, this is kind of bad. I hate when this dude does this. Okay, good. But when I'm in an area itself, I'll do out of logic stuff quite nicely, because then it's like doing out of logic stuff can give you some good information. An example I like is if you do a Lake Floria out of logic, and you're just missing Gust Bellows and Claw Shots, and you find Amber Tablet there, and then you go to Lanayru and find Gust Bellows, then you can know that Claw Shots is logically required for Lake Floria, and that then thus won't be in Lanayru. It gives you some this guy's annoying. So basically, going out of logic can give you some really good info, but I try not to base that entirely off of like big decisions. I try to base big decisions off of how many items I can, or how many checks I can get in logic. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question, basically. It's basically, yes, I'll go out of logic, but I won't make it a big factor in where I'm going. Actually, no, it's still probably a good idea of doing what I want to do, because again, I still technically can't beat it. I still need bow or people or something. So yeah, it's a little bit funky, but you know, it works. Again, I thought that it's like 5 seconds. This might just be like completely off meta plays here. But, yeah. So going to cave. Nice, nice, nice. I hate this ledge because it's like really annoying, and you're always way further forward than you think you are. Okay, nice little linear caves. Lake Floria and sword in summit pouch. Okay, so. Okay, so we already know where 2 swords are. Okay, let's think about this. So I just brushed the mic, I don't know. Ear rape, I guess. Okay, so again, counting things from go mode, we are a sword. We are, I guess I say, we're like a sword. Yeah, I'd say we're a sword, because we know where the other ones are, and we'll know we'll get to them eventually. So yeah, we have swords. 1 sword, 2 tablets, that's 3. 4 harp. 5, 6 earrings and scale. 7 for like the other items, I guess. For like bow or heal. 8 for a bottle, I guess. So it's like, okay, so 8 minimum. We're like 8 items go mode minimum right now. And that could like be more like 9 or 10 if heal is required. Yeah, right now we're about like, I'd say 8 or 9 items from go mode. And I think it's good to try and count how many you are early on, because then it kind of gives you a good kind of anchor point to making decisions. Because a lot of the decision making will be based on how many checks you are away from go mode. Okay, so check that. Check this. Actually, no, this is fine. I was going to say I might have wanted to check on top of LMF, but I'll end up doing that anyway. As I'm going to LMF. Okay, so nothing. Yeah, like I routed things like that in case there was like beetle or bow in like cave, for example, and I didn't want to get into LMF, do everything, and then only double dip it to find like the things in caves. So like it probably wasn't the most efficient way of routing, assuming everything was nothing, but it could have prevented a double dip, but I'm likely to double dip anyway, unless this is something. Yeah, it isn't. Yeah. And again, LMF is actually out of the logic right now, but because it's kind of in, again, it's kind of, because I'm here, I might as well do everything. And also it's a required dungeon, so I know for a fact that it will be in logic at some point. It's, again, it's like, I'm not, like, it wasn't, like, LMF wasn't really part of, the decision making, but as I'm in Inland area, which was, like, the most check dense area, I was like, might as well do this now. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, it's like in open LMF, you don't need bombs. Actually, bombs aren't required at all because there's only 1 check that requires them. We already have a hint for that, the boss key check. But yeah, in LMF closed, which is what it used to be in standard, yeah, bombs were like a requirement, and so was heal. I think it was like then SGL came along and had open LMF standard by default. I mean, and so then everyone kind of liked it, and then everyone kind of integrated it into standard. Did I seriously get, like, another crystal pack? I don't remember getting another crystal pack. I'll check, because I don't trust myself that I did that right. Oh, no, I did. Okay. I don't remember getting that. Okay, so that's everything. That's everything there. And yeah, I know for a fact, which I can't... I guess, actually, because I know that I can't beat it and it's out of logic, it might have been a better idea to not do this now. But you know, again, this could give me some useful information, so it kind of depends really. I think there's multiple choices, like, you know, like I think if you didn't want to do LMF, there's a reason for it. It just depends how much you want to stick towards logic and, you know. Oh, so a small chest in there, right? Yeah. I know. If it's like anything close to useless, I just don't remember what it is, honestly. So break sliding. LMF is like break slide central. It's break slide city basically, or just Lanayru in this dungeon in general. Oh my god, please, thank you. Jesus. Yeah, again, it's like, I guess if you were like really kind of, again, following logic, you wouldn't do this, but because it's again, a required thing you have to do, you might as well get it over and done with. Now, okay, nice. Somewhat convenient key. I mean, randomized music is has nothing to do with the settings. It's cosmetic. I just don't have randomized music personally. It doesn't change anything about the seed. So sometimes a lot of like my opponents will have it on, but I just don't because it's like I just prefer vanilla music, which is a very unpopular opinion, but it is my opinion, so, you know. Whatever. I don't care. Oh, no. Ooh, close. Yeah, stuff like randomized music, tunic swap, stuff like that, they're all like cosmetic and they have nothing to do with the permanent link or seed. That may have worked. Yeah, good. Yeah, nothing so far. Yeah, this is like, not aggressive, but it's like, I'm really cool. I don't know what this play is, I don't know. Doing matchy dialogue, yeah. You can have some like really weird combinations with music rando, and like when I'm like playing competitively, I don't like to have it on because it makes me think about the music too much, and then I might like forget something about the seed. Because yes, I am that person to optimize literally every aspect of my gameplay. Which is sad, but it's just true as well. We could also get the sword here, that's good. Okay. Because there's a good key placement, we can just get the sword now, so. It's not entirely bad. By going out of logic, we are gonna have to think about the seed a little bit more, because it's like a little bit, like if we get like, then Thunderhead, then we get like, something from Nehru's, and then it's like, I don't know, it can sort of like really just burn your brain with going out of logic, so. There's like the danger there. I can't do this room. I have like literally no projectile. What am I doing? You can see how often I just don't go to LMF this early, but purely because I didn't know. I just forgot you couldn't do anything in this room. Anyway, ignore me. I can't do shit. Normally when you enter LMF, it's normally like mid to late game, and normally you have like a projectile of some sorts. You don't right now, so yeah. I don't know how I forgot about that, but whatever. Oh yeah, exactly. The UK land shield. That's part of it. Yeah. Like, bro, without that shield, that'd be nothing. Anyway, so just pretend I didn't go down that way. Just pretend I know what I'm talking about. This is just behind first crawl space. Nice leg, I think. Right, so we still can't beat the dungeon because we still need again Bow or Beetle. We might find that in LMF. It's unlikely, but we might. I mean, that's the same as saying we might find anything useful in LMF, which again is equally unlikely, but you never know. And of course, all this is stuff I'll have to do anyway. So if I do enter here and it's all wrong, I'm not going to waste too much time. Maybe a little bit if the boss key's quite early on. So yeah, I think that dungeons are called like... One thing that's kind of good about dungeons is that because they're like kind of, again, they're places you kind of have to go anyway, and so if you do have good execution, then normally you can like really thrive in dungeons because it's very rare, unless boss key's like really early, it's very rare that you'll find any variation in things. Dungeons are more just like about kind of who can do them quicker, and so it's like, the better your execution, the kind of the more leg up you have in dungeons. The Golden Skull, I'm going to write that down because I like to write down treasures, just in case I need them, so I can kind of calculate how much money I technically would have. And that's actually literally all I can do in this dungeon. I can do literally nothing else. So, didn't pay off, but, you know. One, I might have got something out of logic which might have, like, told me stuff about the seed, and also, you know, I would kind of have to do this anyway, so... It's going to be a small time loss if this was a race, but it wouldn't be a huge, gigantic one. Like this could have been much... it could have been much... This was kind of the worst case scenario, to be honest, but even the worst case scenario with required dungeons isn't too bad. So I'd recommend, you know, like, not to delay them if it makes sense to do them, or if it's like... if you can kind of, like, if you can combine them with, like, a region you're in, I'd say do that. But don't, like, yeah, don't rush dungeon too early on, otherwise you can end up in situations like this. But again, it's like, you know, altered version of the seed could have been, you know, there could have been something in that dungeon, and would have told us a lot of useful stuff about the seed, potentially. But, you know, didn't happen, but again, didn't lose too much time. So now all we can do is just Skyloft, really. That's all we can do. And yeah, weird how 30 minutes in, we are only just leaving our first, second region. We had Skyloft 1, then this, and now we're finally going back to the sky. Yeah, didn't quite get anything out of logic, so didn't have to worry about logic too much. But we know something has to be on Skyloft because there's literally nowhere else we can go. So, yeah, a bit of a bottleneck so far, but, you know. And I guess, like, bottlenecks, a lot of people don't like them, but I think if you have really good execution, you should like them, because these races allow you to, like, kind of propel further in execution, basically. Alright, so... for now, I'm going to be doing... Academy first. Skyloft routing from here is like, normally I try to do either Academy or Central first, and then I do the other one, so here I'm doing Academy, then I'll do Central, then I'll go to Village and Patrol, because I think doing it that way, doing Patrol last, means that if you get any crystals when you're in Academy or Skyloft, you'll have, like, if you had 25 crystals and you get, like, 30, then it's just, it's much better to do it that way, because then you're not just double dipping Patrol all the time. It was also interesting how we knew that LMF was Spirit of the Sword, yet, it's like, we didn't find anything. I find that interesting, but, you know. And speaking of Spirit of the Sword, we do know that, Betrow is also Spirit of the Sword, so, yeah, I don't know, just like, I guess more reason to come here if we had a choice. Yes, one good thing to do is also just to kind of, like, remind yourself of your hints every now and then, because it's really easy to, like, just forget them, especially if you write them down. Like, that's one of the benefits of keeping them in your mind, is that you normally tend to remember them more, because you then put more emphasis on it, but it's like... I kind of suck at doing both, so, you know, I just like to have it kind of on my screen somewhere, so that I can look at it, but I do still have to remind myself to look at it. Yeah, right now is just kind of downtime. I've explained how I treat early game dungeons way too many times. I'm pretty sure you guys are all sick of it, so I probably don't need to do that again. But yeah, bottle, nice. One thing I could do, I could probably do Oriel now actually, because I can combine it with Paro's crystals. Yeah, since I'm just going to Central Skyloft, I might as well do that anyway. It's a little bit kind of jank to leave Skyloft only to come back, but you know, it's like not too bad. I guess if I find like what, Ruby Tablet, then I'll probably end up just going there instead, I guess. Since there's like more checks there, but I guess that I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, nice we didn't have a curse medal like we did in like that last weekly. I don't know, that's kind of dumb. Anyway. Yeah, curse medals aren't really things you can like route around. They're just kind of there and they just exist. And they're kind of annoying. I mean, I think even if I did have Ruby Tablet, it might still be worth to do Skyloft simply because of that Betrow Spirit of the Sword. It looks like it might be interesting. And also Owlan. Yeah, actually no, there's a lot of incentive just to stay on Skyloft if I do still find something like Ruby Tablet. I think I think, yeah, found the open that much. So I think either way, I'm going to be going to Skyloft after this, regardless. Okay, more crystals, not bad. But yeah, we just continue through the game, because, you know, kind of bottleneck, so there's not much to talk about specifically about dungeons, other than, you know, how I've already said. I guess I can now kind of talk about what I'm going to do in, like, mid or late game. Now, I think we kind of, like, discussed this earlier, but, like, I kind of have, like, 3 stages of the game. First stage is, early game, which is essentially, like, you know, none of the late game or, mid-game requirements have been met, so, you know, and because it's like, because mid-game or late-game have kind of like specific requirements, they're not based on time, they're based on what I have. Early game is by far the, like, the early game mentality is by far the biggest, it's like, yeah, early game is by far the biggest, like, reason, and sometimes late game can even come before before mid-game. And I transition to a mid-game mindset when I'm able to at least beat all my dungeons. Not necessarily full clear, but beat all my required dungeons. Okay, I'll take this. I'll take the earrings. And that is a potential beetle to be able to sort it either way. What is this? Gold rupee, I'll have to get it anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, so yeah, and when I'm in the mid-game, that's when I try to... I wouldn't say rush my dungeons, but I try to, like, prioritize them a lot more, and even, like, dip for, like, doing dungeons. Basically, if I'm in the mid-game, and I'm able to beat all my dungeons, I'll try and do that in case there's, like, a sword in a dungeon or something like that. What is this? Is this gonna be a rupee? Rupee, I mean. God damn it, yeah. Game, I just had 400, now you're just gonna do that to me. See, now we're just, like, 10 off from getting the slingshot. I mean, it is a slingshot, so it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, I think, so early game kind of treats dungeons like they're other regions, like I'm doing. Like, don't delay them, but don't, like, rush them. Oh yeah, no, that slingshot's so goddamn annoying. Whatever, I'll mark that. That looks like nothing. I will mark it for purposes, for logic, but I'm not gonna, like, do anything about it. So yeah, that's like, yeah, early game, treat them as like any other region. Mid game is like, or when you can like beat all your dungeons, is when you should want to start kind of rushing them. Same thing for the late game, although the late game is just the, like, I transition to the late game when I'm about 2 items from go mode, give or take about 1, depending on how the seed is going. Sometimes I might, like, decide at like 3 items from go mode that, okay, I'll like rush dungeons now. But yeah, like at mid or late game is when you want to try and start prioritizing progression and required dungeons. Because I think that delaying them at that point doesn't really like make a lot of sense. Why is he holding it to his left? That's so weird. Does he always do that? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So like I feel like at early game there's kind of like a reason for delaying them a little bit, because again it's like if you do them in like late game, you could sometimes go mode them. But if you are already in late game, there isn't really much point to delaying them. Unless you're being incredibly aggressive, because I feel like at that point, the more you delay them, the more you open up to kind of like looking around only for there to be a sword in a dungeon or something like that. And again, they're things you have to do anyway, so even if, like, worst case scenario, there's like nothing in the dungeon, then there's like, you know, you don't lose too much time. Okay, so still nothing. I think our progression is going to be on Betrow. Looking at how the seed is going, but you know, I'll do everything else because there's no reason I shouldn't do other things like Bertie or whatever. Yeah, LMF and Betrow are the current Spear of the Swords, and again, LMF, unless Courage is Spear of the Sword, nothing was really in LMF, to my knowledge anyway. I think we got the map. I don't know. Dum 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 dum. Yo, dude, there's like still flipping wind outside. Stop. I don't know how much it's like picking up on the mic, but you know. More rupees, because why not? Everyone loves rupees. Who doesn't? I will get the crystal near pumpkin patch, because in case I do have to pick up like some crystals, it might work. Yeah. I think that there's a like decent chance I might have to get crystals for bat 30 if 5 and 10 are dead. Looking at how the seed is like going right now. Yeah, talking to Sparrow, like I said in the first video, not necessarily the most efficient option, but it's safe because you won't forget it. And if you are in like Eldin, then it's like it makes more sense. Oh my god, the door frame! No! Right. Yeah, at least we have claw shot, so if we do have to pick up 10 crystals, we don't have to leave Skyloft, I don't think. We might have to go in like the cave, Waterfall Cave, which would really suck without Beetle, but yeah, for now we just have like, yeah. What would suck, right? Finding Beetle on bat 5 or 10, and then having to get to bat 40. That would really suck. I'm hoping that's not a thing. Like, I don't want to find Beetle right now. Okay, Retro 5. Money. Retro 10. Please be something, please. Oh, fuck off. Okay, yeah. Right, 10 crystals it is. 10 crystals it is. Okay. Right, so let's think about this. Yeah, I'm literally gonna have to do fucking Waterfall Cave. Great! Unless I find 5 at item in Bird Nest, that would be nice. Or some sort of progression, which is still unlikely, but you know. It's kind of one of those bottleneck seeds that kind of like do this. I haven't had one of these in a while, so you know. So it's kind of like nice to have one of these from like a practicing standpoint, because it allows you to practice like really annoying situations. Because most of the annoying situations I've had usually come from seeds that are like bottleneck and then really open. Like those types of seeds I've, in my experience, have kind of had like really like hard decisions to make, because a lot of it's like just a bunch of 50-50s. Yeah, I'll check this first in case this is crystals, but if it isn't, then that changes nothing. Plus, I can just like fly back down anyway, so it's not a big deal. You can get this check out of logic with the Beetle and Gust Bellows. I don't really like to do that because I'm not very good at it, but you know. Okay, Bomb Bag. That changes a few things actually, so I'm... Okay, because I don't feel like getting crystals, I'm just gonna like... die. I'm just gonna like... pretend that... I don't need to do that, and I'm gonna basically just go back to Lanayru. Because it's like, it is still likely that I'll get something useful in Lanayru, or and if I get crystals, then it'll be even better. So I'm gonna do that. Nice logical, okay, nice forced double dip into Lanayru actually, because Bellows were in Lanayru. Nice, love it when seeds do that. But you know, it's been playing good so far. Dude, it's been a million years since I've ever like actually used this, this board here, this like takeoff board. It's weird how I just thought about this, but like I never actually used that ever for some reason in Rando. Interesting. Anyway, like I remember, I'm pretty sure I used it like all the time in vanilla, but not really in Rando. So yeah, all Bomb Bag really does is just open a few checks, so nothing really changes. I didn't check earrings, so I'm gonna do that now. I have such a bad habit of not checking things from Beetle, and earrings was one of them. That was like one reason I basically like it's one reason that it's partially a reason why I lost a race in a tournament. Because I like forgot to mark earrings from Beetle. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I just forget to mark stuff, but it's like whatever. So yeah, so from a hint standpoint, I can also ooh, I can get the sword in LMF now. Actually, I can get that. Yeah. Yeah, damn, we can't craft tablets. Yeah, unfortunately. Dude, imagine if that was like actually a mechanic. That would be weird. I think, yeah, with bombs and slingshot. Actually, no, not slingshot. I just marked it on the tracker. God damn it. Yeah, I could have got the sword, but you know, I didn't actually end up buying the slingshot because Reapers are dumb. So, okay, that just got shattered. If I did have a slingshot, I could get the sword, but I don't. So, yeah. And in hindsight, I should probably thought about getting the slingshot, but it wasn't the first thing I was thinking of when I had the bomb bag. So, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Besides, I know I'll go back to it. I know I'll go back to LMF later on. So, and it's not even in logic right now. So, you know, there's that. I think that in LMF, I believe it has to be something good in LMF. No. Yeah, because it's locked by Hook Beetle. Yeah, it's just locked by Hook Beetle, and so that's the only real like debate Spear of the Sword right now. It's just Hook Beetle. Everything else we kind of need anyway. Yeah, that's it. So okay. So I know for a fact there's something useful in LMF, and by useful I mean like useful. I need the party wheel. Actually, I'm just gonna like not mark slingshot because I'm just gonna be confusing myself there. Yeah, this is kind of why I talked to Dodo first. Again, it's not efficient, it's just that I just don't have to think about it for a while. And I think that that's a big thing about randomizers, is like, it's better not to think about things. Or kind of like better to like do things in that way, but yeah. It's this feels like quite a slow seed, because we haven't really got anything. Our checks per minute is still above 1, it's 49 to 46. But this still feels really slow. But again, that's I think because nothing is like open, it's just the linear and that, yeah, so. It's really like it's one of those like slow starts, I think. Party wheel. Dint power. Mark that down. Because why wouldn't I mark that down? Honestly. Damn it, I hate doing that. My god. Really? Really? Normally I can get this. Why can't I get this now? Why did that take so long? I only got like the first try. I don't think I've ever not got that first try. Actually, I got like, not first try, but not like pad. Jesus, that was like weird. Nice, okay, we just ran. Anyway, that was fucking weird, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Yep. Caves key, which means we can do... Actually, we can do like all of Sansi right now. I'll probably end up doing that unless we find like Ruby Tablet or something, so... making me think a little bit. Yeah, we don't have Sanchip as a required dungeon, so we don't have to worry about that. Even if I did, I can only do like one check there. Which I'd probably go for, not gonna lie, actually, knowing me. It's again the Kitcot Classic. And I think like, In the first video, you kind of saw me do that, and I dipped a dungeon. Didn't even call it by its real name. Yeah, dipping dungeons when you can't like full clear them. That is known as the Kitcot Classic, which is what I'm named after. Because I do it way more than like anyone. I forgot to blow up the thing. That's okay. I mean, my reasoning for dipping dungeons like that is because, well, you have to do them anyway, so you don't lose too much time. And if you do find something, then the reward is like insane. So like that's my reasoning. Although again, it's like by double dipping, it's like a little bit less efficient. It kind of depends, I guess, kind of like again how aggressive or passive you want to be when you play. Yeah, but like again, personally, because I think that you have to do it anyway. You're not gonna lose as much time, and so it just kind of makes sense to do it. Like you should avoid to double dip it, but like not like but I only say on a small scale. Don't like I wouldn't say make decisions around double dipping because that can sometimes end up like losing you time in the end. Secret passageway. Okay, yeah, this is kind of why I went to linear, because again I might have got that and now, dude, I'd have to pick up 10 crystals, just 5. Like it makes your life so much easier in like situations like that. That was weird, but okay. Okay, so we can do like just about everything. I think that the nice batteries. I did bring spares, so we're okay. I do think that the last one is out of logic, but again, I'll still do it anyway. Okay, that's a good roll. That bomb roll can be a little bit finicky, but I've done enough any percent, or old any percent. I mean, to learn that like that isn't too bad. Really? Okay. That was like probably like the first full frame that was active. Actually, I need to do the bomb though first. Second chests. That land up there, which is cool. Sometimes that bomb is a bit finicky to land up there. And sometimes it rolls back down the other side, which is also equally like as dumb. And generator. Yeah, more crystals. Okay, good. See how to get. Did get that. Second crystal as well, which I just didn't mark. Okay. So one more thing I do in like node, then I'll probably head to Sansi. I think, or maybe not. I know that something is likely on Patrol though, but I don't want to orphan Sansi. Sansi does have 3 times the amount of checks that is on Betrow, but Betrow is like Spirit of the Sword. I think that given that we're still in the early game, I'm not going to go on the Betrow thing too much. Like, the Betroth thing could be anything, so it's like... It's like it could be something useful, I think. But... Yeah. I wouldn't feel comfortable, like, with dipping Sansy right now. Or dipping... Because it's like, again, it's like, essentially, like... You're assuming all those checks are useless, but they might not actually be. And again, there's like 3 times. If Sandship only had like the 3 back ones at Pirates, then yeah, I'd probably go to Betroth. But because I can full clear it, it's like you know, it doesn't make sense in my mind to put it off. Yeah, Sandship's one of those. Oh, Sandship. Sansy's one of those reasons that's like really long, but can be useful. So I will do it. Also, if we find the Ruby tablet, we can actually likely beat Fire Sanctuary. Probably not full clear because we still need Heal. Actually, we can't full clear because we need Heal, but we have everything else, so we could do like back half, for example. It's also like we'll do like all of Sansy, not just like let's like avoid the hint or anything. I'll probably do like the entirety of it. If it doesn't pay off, then I'll just be really unfortunate. But again, it's like there's 3 times more likely checks, and like right in the early game, that should really be all I'm caring about. And again, it's like as I think I demonstrated in the efficiency video, using Spirit of the Swords to kind of like. Have some sense of direction. Like, okay, I know that it's likely that the progression is at Betroth, so this is more just kind of safety doing Sansy, and by like kind of falling back on the gondola and stuff like that. Like, it is, there's a decent chance that this is Baron and everything's at Betroth, but like, because we're missing so much, because we're still missing so much stuff, it's like, there's still reason to think there's probably something here. What am I doing? I have the bomb bag. Nice. Actually, wait, because Slingshot will make this in Logic, technically I can full clear Sansy in Logic, so I don't have to worry about the fact that I'm going after Logic. I just know for a fact that logically I could do this because I know where the Slingshot is. But, you know, we won't need it because it's just something that's logically required. Okay, and yeah, this is why we go to Sansy. It's a long region, but it can sometimes have something useful. Oh, yeah, I don't have longsword. If you have longsword, you can just kind of murder that dude, but I don't have that, so yeah. Yeah, I think given my items, if I did get Ruby Tablet, I'd basically just want to go straight to Eldin, because I could do so much there. And if I find a Hood Beetle before that, then I can, like, I could fully clear everything in Eldin, including Fire Sanctuary, which would be nuts. Okay, Cactus Pillar. Swing Hero. Interesting. So yeah, right now I don't think I made anything that's like questionable decisions. Maybe LMF was a... I don't know why I'm going here. This is already hinted to be dead. Maybe LMF out of logic was questionable, but again, I think it kind of makes sense because, again, dungeons are things you have to do anyway. So, yeah, it's like, yeah, it just... Like, since I was in LNA at the time, and dungeons are things you have to do anyway, it's like, I might as well have done that. Again, it wasn't the most efficient way, but it was like, you know, it wasn't a disastrous... It wasn't a disaster by doing it that way, I don't think. So yeah, we're just gonna keep trudging through Sandsea. It's quite a big region again, it takes like 15 minutes to clear the whole thing. It's like definitely one of the least check dense areas, so that's why a lot of people don't like it. But right now, I mean, it's either this or Betrow. And okay, yeah, and you know, Betrow's still likely to have stuff, but you know, there's no shame in full clearing things, unless I have a reason not to. Even though I kind of do though, but you know. I just looking at this, I don't like my gut feeling is I don't feel comfortable with dipping. And I think that some things in this game you just kind of need to make with gut feeling. Like I've been speaking a lot to Jasnix and Average Link, and like those two people are like one is like #1 ranked in like an ELO algorithm and on like the race time thing, and Jasnix is the SGL champion. And like I've like discussed to both those people, and like they both say like a lot of their decisions are just down to gut feeling. I think that like. Sometimes that's just what randomizers are, because again, randomizers, it's like, sometimes at the end of the day, it's like just, the item placement is basically RNG, and again, you can only make the informed choice, which is kind of where the skill comes in, is like, you know, what's the most likely outcome, but at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes, like, I guess following your gut feeling can be really good, because sometimes you're, like, if your gut feeling is off, then normally your like unconscious brain tells you not like is kind of like speaking to you almost, and it's like sometimes your unconscious brain will see patterns that like you won't, and so it's like sometimes trusting that can sometimes be like a good idea, but sometimes it's not. But I've had both things where gut feeling has worked and gut feeling hasn't, so it's like whatever. So yeah, minecart ride because there's a hint stone here. Sometimes, like, if I'm being really aggressive late game, I might skip this hintstone, but right now I don't really have a reason to. It's like, still early-ish game, so I'm still in that sort of mindset anyway, and so I think skipping it would just be more detrimental. And if it's a useful hint, then damn, I'll take it. We got out. Right. Okay, what you got for me? Skyloft and literally like nothing useful. Although what was okay? I'm trying to think what was the Skyloft thing. Skyloft. Well, we found the Skyloft. I know we did find something useful in Skyloft. We found digging mitts. That was probably what I was pointing to be honest. So that was, yeah. Right, yeah. Let's see, yeah, just finishing up Sandsea right now. Yep. Nothing else to say except for we doing this. But yeah, I mean, hintstones are kind of like, they're like, they can be useless or they can literally like point you to victory and point you to go mode. They're weird. And so normally it's like a good idea to do them because again it's like they're like the high reward is like really it's really like a high reward. I mean, but, you know, there's still a risk. There's still a risk in hints, especially like the far out ones like the Nehru. Yeah, Pirates is just that, like, other place that's, like, just really far away, and it's only, like, 3 checks, so it's, like, reasonably likely that Pirates can have nothing. Yes, guys, I'm gonna kind of like recount my, recounting my, I have to go mode, so, sword, 2 tablets, harp, which is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4, I can beat LMF now, actually, That might be a good idea, or I might actually just go to, We are still in the early game, so I'm gonna kind of choose it as, like, any other region. And because LMF is mostly out of logic, it's like I'm probably gonna go to Skyloft because I know there's gonna be progression there. So I'm gonna delay that a little bit, which might be contradictory to my first play, which was just go in there. But I think that actually no, LMF is Spirit of the Sword though. Okay, that might change things. I know that it's gonna be useful. So yeah, okay. So the fact that LMF is Spirit of the Sword might actually change things. I might actually just dip back to LMF. But yeah, I think that's what I was talking about. I don't know, I feel like I was talking about something else beforehand. And I think I was talking, I don't know, whatever. Oh my god, that is like the most annoying thing ever. Okay. Damn, the suspense is killing me. Alright, whatever, it's fine. It's a tutorial race, it doesn't matter too much. I should probably get in the habit of changing these before races as well, because I've done this so many times in races and I just forget and it's like, fuck. Yeah, but this always happens during runs. Never ever happens during, like, I don't know, practice, like, which would be so much more useful. It always happens during runs. Alright. Okay, full batteries in, let's go. Okay, that does make Betrow easier. So yeah. If ignoring hints, I would probably right now go to Betrow, because it's more checks in logic, and I know there's gonna be something there. But I also know that there's going to be something quite useful in LMF. So I might actually just go there. And it could be relatively likely that Betrow is just Hook Beetle, which might actually be useful, but still. I will write down Skyloft Pro. And by Pro I just mean like it's a short word for progression. So I know that if I do find like Ruby Tablet, I'll probably go back to Skyloft so that I don't like... So I'm not wildly out of the logical loop. So yeah. But yeah, Sandsea. It's a long region, but isn't too bad. Relatively. And whilst I'm here, I might as well drop off Dodo. Just kind of forget to do that if I leave it. Please don't have been something that would have shaped everything. Or it shouldn't have shaped everything, to be honest. Right. Crystals. I'm probably just gonna get 50, to be honest, next time I go to LMF. No, LMF, I mean... Skyloft. I was thinking about LMF and I was gonna say Skyloft, but it got kind of crossed in my brain. Yeah, no. Yeah, anyway. So going back, because we can full clear a required dungeon, which is all... I think if the Spirit of the Sword wasn't there, I'd probably delay LMF. Because again, just for the early game, I'm just treating it as any other region. But because of that Spirit of the Sword, and I know that it's something required, it's like, you know, it makes sense. And also I know that the Spirit of the Sword has to be something useful, like, or something that leads to something useful. It's not going to be like a debate or something that isn't required, because we've already kind of crossed over those. So yeah, again, it's like not efficient to double dip this dungeon, but it's like, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. It could have been no, much worse, to be honest. Well, coming into this room, that was kind of dumb. I know. At least, like, with open LMF, I seem to be, like, I've noticed that I dip this dungeon a lot more, so. In the future, I might change my stance on LMF and how that goes, but yeah, for now, it's like, okay, I need to throw this, goddammit. Okay, at least, thank God that blew up, otherwise I'd have a bit of awkward routing right there. I don't think there are any bomb drops in this place. I also, shouts to this, by the way. Okay, yeah, don't smash through the post, Jesus. But I don't think I need bombs necessarily. I think I'm okay for bombs. Unless I've forgotten that I need them in the other room, but I don't think I do. I think it's throats. Or whatever you call them. This... What is the actual Spirit of the Sword, though? We still haven't came across it yet, which is interesting. Might be right at the end, to be honest. Which is actually kind of likely. Right now, the only sort of progression we found is, like, Flora's Courage, and I'd rather that not be the Spirit of the Sword. I'll also take away the Bellows hint, because I know that, like, that's... don't kill me. Yeah, because I know that, like... Oh, yeah, the inside Gus Bellows hint, number 2, for that being a sword. I'll take away that. I'll take away that. Dying is going to be kind of annoying because I don't have bombs, but, you know, whatever. It's not bad. There are spikes in this room, which make it somewhat bearable. At least I don't have to blow up a Froak over and over again. Actually, that's a strat. I could, like, blow up a Froak once to damage down and then open the chest and then kill myself. Doge, I'm a genius. Alright. Maybe not. We'll see. It didn't even work. Oh my god. Okay, this is a sword. I know that. Now we die. Hooray. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you. Jesus, okay. We did! Okay. So there's one more check, then it's Smolder Egg and Goddess. Cool. So really the only like time loss we have is just running towards the end, which is like about as bad as if we say died in LMF at the end. Which is still bad, but I've had worse dips, to be honest. It's not going to lose too much time in the grand scheme of things, although it might like decide a race if I'm against like a really top player, but you know, it's like... Again, it's not a huge time loss relative to any other like double dipping. Like out of all double dips you could possibly do, dungeons are like the best. And again, I didn't like plan on double dipping. It's just that it was more convenient at the time to do LMF because it was like right there, and it's like okay, well I'm gonna do the same way, so I might as well. And plus it was Spirit of the Sword, so yeah, yeah. We still haven't, literally still haven't like came across that. So it's gonna be either. It's either Flora's Courage or it's in the last 3 checks, which I'd hope it being the latter. Actually, we forgot something. Ah. Thank God I looked at my tracker, because... I say I looked at my tracker, I actually marked it off for some reason. I don't even know how I marked it off. Why did I mark off first chest in Hubwood, what? Anyway. Weird. Well, this sword could... Actually, no, the sword couldn't be, because that was already hinted. I think if I know how it works. But it's still late anyway. God damn. I think I timed it, and I'm pretty sure that just running towards the end is still quicker than RBMs and stuff. By like about a minute. It was kind of loose timings, but I'm pretty sure. Besides, I don't even remember the RBM, so there's no way I'd do it anyway. Yeah, quite. We are starting to dip behind in checks per minute. Nice. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those long seeds, I think, which is fine. I don't mind long seeds. It's I don't know. It definitely like this seed definitely feels quite slow. At least for a start. I think what yesterday I was like in Eldin looking for like one more item, but we're still listing so many items right now. I say so many. We're about like 5 items from go mode-ish. So we're doing better, but it's still. There's only a throat there, which is interesting. There isn't right now. Oh wait, duh! I already did this room. What am I talking about? I have short-term memory loss apparently. What the fuck? Anyway. Or like muscle memory, I think. I'll blame it on that. That's my impression of a minecart. I'm bored, please help. Okay, save scum. Or yes, we'll save scum this. And then we'll kill Moldrak. Kill old moldy boy. I missed. There we go. Right. Why did I do that? In what world is that muscle memory as well? That was just me being dumb. Okay, thankfully we have a bomb bag, so we can do the bomb version. Which is like time restricted, but I think it's easier. At least on HD. Oh, no, on SD. On a HD it's harder, I think. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird how much they change about SD or HD as well. It's like a few small things which I think throw off like people like me who've been running SD for ages. Like this is why I don't run HD as much as I would, but it's because it's like too different in very small ways. Yeah, nice little stretch break. Ah, right. The noise was totally necessary, by the way. Oh, yeah, so not too bad. Again, only real time loss here was like dibbing LMF, but it's not gonna lose too much time since we have to go here anyway. And we're not like repeating too much, unless you're an idiot like me and I try to repeat a room. Alright. So yeah, save going, for those who don't know, is basically when you like save somewhere, and then if it's junk, you just reset and then reload back, so that like you don't have to like die. In this case, we just did it to save a death warp, but it can sometimes be useful if you have like a key and 2 locked doors. You can check one, and if it's junk, you can actually go back and check the other one, because assuming you saved before you spent the key. It's a very, very useful strat which can save you a lot of time. Like I think in one race it actually lost me an hour because I didn't save scum, and that was in a tourney actually, which was quite sad. But yeah. Okay, this fight's alright. Yeah, it is hit-based, so it doesn't change with what sword you have, which is annoying if you have TMS, because most other fights are made so much easier with TMS. If anything, this one's made slightly harder, because a bigger sword more likely to like get stuck on things. Okay, now I have an even bigger break, because this is a very long cutscene. But during this cutscene, I will just summarize, summarize early game dungeons. Treat them as like any, I've done this way too many times, but I'm going to do it like officially now. So, treat them as like any other region. If you're kind of in a region and it makes sense to do it, then even if it's really out of logic, then I'd say you might as well do it, because you have to go there anyway, and plus going out of logic is useful, which I'll explain more in the next video. But yeah, and if it's, in this case, if it's Spirit of the Sword, and you can full clear it, you might as well. Even if it's out of logic, because again, you know that there's something useful in that. Unless you still have like a bunch of Jabati Spirit of the Swords left. Then I'd say don't do it, but in this situation, I don't have any more in LMF. So, nice, okay. So it has to be at the end then, surely. Unless it really is for us coverage, and I would hate that. It is, yeah, it's like one of the only trials which hasn't been hinted for yet, so, waiting for that then. Yeah, please be something at the end. That would like really make my day so much better. So, yeah, and it's only until mid game to end game when I say you should start rushing dungeons, because then at that point is when you kind of like, because I think the whole point of delaying dungeons is because you might actually end up in go mode. I think that when you're in mid or late game, or when I define mid or late game, when you're like in those points, it doesn't really like make too much sense to not to delay them anymore, because at that point you're kind of like banking more and more on the fact that those dungeons are useless, when they very realistically might not be. I hate this game. I fucking hate this game. Jesus Christ. Okay. Unless I missed something. Yeah, Cave Ski was not in... The Cave Ski wasn't here. Yeah. Unless I missed something, yes, there's something... Courage is the thing. Okay, there is Wisdom, and okay. So yeah, Wisdom on Sling, that's cool. And yeah, kind of as I expected, Betrow is the only thing I can do right now. Yeah. I know that Betrow 50 is not the Spirit of the Sword, but I might just do it anyway, because I haven't got a hint for that yet, and it's only for like 3 more crystals, so it might just be worth doing it, I think. I was about to say maybe those crystals could have been it, but no, crystals in LMF. I don't even know if there were any crystals in LMF, to be honest. Nice, I missed. Oh my god, open the door. Okay, that one, and that one. Okay. It's likely not going to pay off, because again, the Spirit of the Sword is likely at 30 and 40, but there is still a small chance there might be something, and again, in early game, I'm not going to take too many risks. Even though we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. Oh no. Game is weird. Okay, now we just straight up run to Betrow, and then finally get something useful, and I think from then, I've done enough closed to open seeds to know that this is when things start to really open up, and things like, I'm gonna get like all the items like bang, bang, bang after once. Because, yeah, no, it's very rare for seeds to stay closed for the entire time. It can happen, it's just very rare. Normally you kind of, normally it's really closed at the start, and then really open, at least in these types of seeds. But yeah. 30, 40, 50, and I'll likely get the chest. I do not see a world in where I don't get the chest. So I'll mark that off. There is the Spirit of the Sword. Petro 30, Emerald Tablet. Okay, so the game crystals was completely useless, but you know, I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah, you know. So it's alright. Again, but I was just trying to be bit more safe. Because there's nothing saying that there wasn't anything. And I feel like it would have been more aggressive to not have done that, but yeah. Okay, so now we got a Found, because that's literally all we can do. We can't do Insistent, because we still need the scale for that. Okay, so now, so recount on stuff, so I need Ruby Tablet Harp, Ruby Tablet Heart Scale Sword. Is it just 4? I think it's just 4 items from Go Red right now. Yeah, right now it's just 4 items from Go Red. And maybe Hook Weedle. That might be required. So it's 4/5. When transitioning to late game at like 2, it's always 2. I always try to do 2 minimum as like the baseline. Sometimes it still might be 3, but you know, I try to make 2 minimum as the... So I'm really focusing on that like 4 to 5 instead of like the 5. So yeah, if I get like Ruby Tablet or Harp, then I'll transition into a late game mindset and rush dungeons a little bit more. So, but for now, even though we're like an hour and a half in, I'm still in like an early game mindset, which is just focusing on amount of checks and not using like hints to kind of like for direction, but not for making huge decisions. Right, so yeah, Found, hooray. I've been a lot of talking, so my voice doesn't like it, but whatever. Yeah, it's hard to believe that I'll be done in an hour, which would be like a decent time for standard, but yeah. I think this would be one of those, yeah, this is like a little long scene. I don't know why I expected it to be a cutscene. I do not have the goddess up. Alright, well what, anyway. Okay, bow. I'll take that. Yawn. Good thing about Found is a lot of the things are mostly like hints like this. Okay, item on trees. Okay. Okay, we know what Harp is, so that's just 3 minimum. I'm not gonna write that down because I know for a fact I'm gonna get that at some point. And I am going to do Slingshot because I know that Spiral charges on Owlan. Actually, for now, probably not. I might end up doing it later, but I think for now, I'll probably not rush it, I guess, because like Spiral charge only unlocks like 2 checks out of however many are in this game, so it might not be worth it. That's not useful. It might be useful if a beetle is still a thing, but yeah, it isn't entirely. And as the hint said, that's the goddess harp. I'm pretty sure I can't remember if it was a location hint or if that was an item hint specifically, because those are different things. Yeah, so again, I guess like deciding like if you should do checks, like in this case, yeah, it's like another way of using the golden rule. Like I said, is like kind of like what I've done with Spy Charge. Okay, well, Spy Charge only unlocks like 2 checks, so like it's like right now it's like much more likely that I might get like say if I got like Eldin Tablet, right? If I don't get Eldin Tablet, then I probably will end up doing Slingshot anyway. I'll do Slingshot if I find nothing else. If I find something, then I'll like, probably end up doing that instead, like the Eldin Tablet. Because again, it's so much more likely that something would be in, for example, Eldin than be locked by Slingshot. And even then, if there are like only 2 checks on Skyloft to do, I'll probably still do those 2 checks on Skyloft because they take way less time to do, and then they would be about even on amount of checks. I guess that's another thing. It's like if something is even on the amount of checks, then it's probably best to kind of consider how long it takes. That was kind of dumb, but whatever. I'll probably do early Thunderhead as well while I'm here, which might be a play. I'll just need to keep in mind that that's out of logic. Let's remove the Skyloft Pro hint as well, because I know that. I think, yeah, of course. Is there anything useful? Yes, now we're just missing a sword, ruby tablet, and scale, and then we're go mode. So just find one more of those items and I'll transition into the late game. But for now, still in... I guess... Again, sometimes I might do it at 3, but right now I don't have any reason to do that. So, still kind of very much kind of... not going too aggressive, I guess. I might be a little bit more aggressive about certain Spirit Swords that come up. And again, sort of like the late game starting to poke through. But for now, it's... Oh my god, dude. For now, it's, yeah. Oh, dude. So annoying. Really? Okay. Okay, big brain, because I know I'm gonna open this anyway. I'm gonna do this. God, why is my nose itch? Anyway. Yeah, basically just gonna need to teleport over here, so good idea if you ever fail cube warp like me. I should have probably got the bombs in actually. I don't know how many bombs I have on me. Probably don't have enough to kill me. Yeah, how many do I have? 7, okay, 7 will do for now. Yeah. Good idea doing early Thunderhead, because then you can kind of get to that area early, and you're not, like, dependent on a random song to get there. I mean, yeah, it's going to be out of logic for a while, but sometimes it can be really useful. If you do find anything there. It's like, I know a lot of people who just won Cs because they found something in Thunderhead quicker than other people, because they did early Thunderhead. So it's useful for getting to Thunderhead quicker than you otherwise would. And also it's like the shortest back in time. You literally just load into back to bit and then you just like press start and it's done. That was it. That's the whole bit. Now I just have to pray that that's back in time. That bad wasn't on Deep Woods, because that would just been a bit of a waste of time, honestly. Okay, let's see this. Okay, yes. Okay, so. Okay. So, okay, that's a good thing, because now we know that that's what the LMF thing was. Courage was the thing there. And it's not a bad thing, necessarily, because... because, again, we have Harp and we have First Road, so it's... Okay, so it's semi-convenient, but, you know, it is another trial we have to do, so... But it's not that bad in terms of, as far as trials go. And also it's Ruby tablet, so I know for a fact I'll have to do it, so... There's, like, no fear in doing this trial. Again, because we know what's on Slingshot and Owlan crystals, I'm going to basically kind of, like... I'm going to basically orphan those checks and assume that it's going to be useless, because, again, it's, like... Orphaning checks isn't a good idea, but I think because it's so much more likely there's stuff in... Eldin. There's so many... I can do everything in, like, everything in Eldin, so... There's that. And I can finally remove the LMF thing, because I know that... Courage was the Spirit of the Sword there. Just please don't be Eldin Trial. That'd be nice. Of course. Why wouldn't it be Eldin Trial? It always is Eldin Trial. Anyway. Yeah, to get caught there, but that's okay, because there's a tier right here. There's not much, like, commentary here, because it's mostly just kind of... Like, trials are, like, entirely execution-based, so which is good if you're good at execution. But if you're, like, yeah, so... It doesn't really have much to do in rando. I will have an entire separate video for execution. Which will be... It won't be, like, a big video like this, it'll be, like, a nice edited one. But yeah, it's like, yeah. Trials and Endgame are good for, like, execution-centric players, such as myself. And yeah, and like as someone who's execution, like, this would be quite a good seed for me, except for like LMF, which kind of like might have some deviation. Actually, no, I would have liked this because, you know, there was like literally Pharaoh's Courage in LMF, so that was quite nice. It was at the start, so that made things a bit annoying, but it's fine. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it was like, this would be quite a good seed for me because there's quite a good bottleneck. There's like at least one trial required, so a bit of like flexing of execution muscles right there in trials. And yeah, but now we're just entering the kind of the big the big part where it's like everything's gonna like be really open and stuff. Yeah. Also, like, I think I'm like just instinctively not talking a lot because my voice is starting to die. So sorry if I do kind of like just cut out for a bit and I just don't talk because I'm trying to like conserve my voice for stuff. Yeah. Yeah, like this video was like this is like primarily about dungeons, but also talking about this seed is that this seed is gonna be like 70% early game, which is like nothing to do with dungeons. So this isn't like the best seed for displaying like what you should do in dungeons, but it's still an A seed that can give some insight into it. Like, for example, with LMF, that had quite a few good pointers, I think, for how you should do dungeons and progression. Okay, good thing I didn't jump in the thing there. Please go this way. Please, thank you. Alright. So that was done. It was yet a nice ruby tablet on the Eldin Trial. I find that quite amusing. Ugh. Right. So I'm going to do a few things in Floria because, you know, I'm not insane. I'm not going to dip something that much. And besides, I guess Floria is close to Angel System, so it's likely I'll go there anyway, in that regard, so it makes sense. Just in case, I'm also going to check the statue, which I didn't do. It's unlikely I'll come back here unless there is something on Spiral Charge, but yeah. Dude, that'd be so annoying if like Scale is on Spiral Charge and then I just been telling you, yeah, don't do Slingshot, and then it's like the game just goes, yeah, no, you. I mean, like, that's the thing with like Randomizer, is it can just like really fuck you over in terms of in terms of where it places items if you want to. It's a very unlikely chance, because again, when you make the informed decision, you normally make the most likely chance. But it can still happen, and it's usually still very annoying. Okay, so that kind of eased my fears a little bit of the one near the Lumpy Pumpkin was dead. So that was nice. And also we know that the Bomb Wall check is dead. So no hard required bug mids, although we already do have those anyway, so not like it's a big deal. And whilst I'm here, I might as well get this check. So yeah, even though these aren't specifically in the dungeons, these are kind of towards a required dungeon, so it's worth kind of picking these up anyway. And like picking up this and the statue and stuff, because it might make for some more easy stuff later on. So yeah, in terms of checks per minute, the game is definitely telling me to go to Eldin. I probably will go to Thunderhead first. Yeah, I do think I will do, because Thunderhead is kind of like part of the sky, so I kind of treat it as such. It doesn't take too long, only like a few minutes. Although it is a few minutes, so it's like... Yeah. Okay, so right now we are... Okay, one item from Go mode. So I might want to start rushing dungeons. Although, again, I don't... I do just want to do Thunderhead, though. Because, again, it's not gonna... It's, like, kind of there, and it's not going to take too long, so... This is, like... So... Okay, actually, okay, so Sword and Scale. Okay, so this is one of those examples where we are in the late game mentality before the mid game mentality, just because of how I say stuff, right? And so now we're in the late game mentality, because we are now 2 minimum items from Go mode. Maybe 3, but I'm going to say 2. Unless, you know, Pokedeal is required. And now we do want to kind of put more emphasis on required dungeons, so I'm definitely, even if Eldin was not the most check dense place, I'd probably still go to Fire Sanctuary because I can beat it. Okay, Eldin and, okay, that's interesting. That Eldin Spirit of the Sword definitely, interesting. It makes you kind of think where Ballad is. I wonder if Ballad is actually in, it can still be in Eldin. And that hint just really make me want to double dip, but yeah, it's I don't know, like, the Eldin Spirit of the Sword, the fact that Eldin is by far the most check dense area, and also has a required dungeon in late game, it makes so much more sense to go there after Thunderhead. And yeah, this is mostly just safety, kind of clearing up Thunderhead. If I knew my if I want to be really aggressive and felt like I was really behind, I probably would just like straight up dip to Eldin. But right now, I wouldn't really want to do that. Again, there's still a chance that there's something here. Yeah, I think in terms of Spirit of the Sword, it can either be... I almost pushed that way too far. In terms of Spirit of the Sword, it can either be Hook Beetle or Scale. I'm just keeping that in mind. So there's a 50 chance that that Eldin thing is useful. But yeah. But we don't have the whole story because we don't know where Ballad is. If we know where Ballad is, that would probably clear up a lot more things. But right now, that thing in Eldin can either be Hook Beetle or Scale. It's unlikely to be a sword unless something's on Zelda's Blessing. Or like a sword's on Zelda's Blessing, which is kind of like unlikely. Another reason to do Thunderhead is that it's known that the Isle of Songs, it has an unusually likely chance of having swords. And like in 5000C simulations, it's like there's like places the highest chance of there being swords, or there having swords. Today it wasn't like the case, but I've known races where it's like more likely, or like people have won because they went here and there's a sword. Well, I know people have won tournaments because of it. It's like, so I guess going to Thunderhead makes a little bit more sense, even though it's not like entirely. What is it? It's not entirely. Yeah. What is it? It's not in logic before. Okay, this is another good idea. Good thing of progression, right? In Sealed Grounds, there's Song from Impa. This is a required check. So I am just... Okay, I'm annoyed that I didn't think about this earlier. Because if I thought about this earlier, I would have actually just turned around and gone back to Sealed Grounds. But I am going to do this now, because I know for a fact this is a required item. Or a required check, I mean. Which means that if it is wrong, I won't lose too much time. I think, that's kind of like the basis of... like, the summary in general of things that are, like, progression or required dungeons is... If something is, like... If you know you have to do something... You should do it, especially if you're in middle late game. And there is still the chance that you might I mean, the likelihood of this being useless is like actually quite high. But if it is, I'm not going to lose too much time because it's something I have to do anyway. I just lose like the dipping time, which normally isn't too bad. I guess it all depends on how safe you want to be. The safer you are, the more likely you are to do required dungeons. But like if I was being really aggressive, I would have literally just gone straight to Eldin. So this is, I guess, kind of a bit more on the safe side. And yeah, it is useless. But hey, again, because I do this anyway, I'm not going to lose too much time. So yeah, so now we finally go to Eldin. Yeah. So that was a bit of inconvenient routing on my part. I should have really like left and then saw the tracker and then should have done that. That was a little bit on me, but it's, you know, it could have been worse. I could have like this could have been something useful and I could have like gone to Eldin and stuff like that. Like I think like it used to be like this is like a little bit more of a time save because doing this early because there's like a whole cutscene, but now it's just a text box. So I guess nowadays it doesn't make too much sense to do it, but it's still a check you have to do, so just even that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Okay, finally going to Eldin. Even though everything has been pointing us in the direction of this dungeon, we've just been like kind of going, yeah, we'll just meander around a bit. I think this is just how I lose races. I just like meander too much. Like a good Thunderhead. Yeah, I'll go to Frown. No, Dash. I should just go straight to Eldin because it's like there's like a probably 90% chance that there's something useful here. I already know there's a sword here as well, which is why I've been saying I just need one more sword, not two. Looks to be a hug container on the item on cliff. nice rupee. Thankfully, you have a decent amount of rupees, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, and again, we know that this is Spirit of the Sword due to a hint in Thunderhead, so we don't know what it could be. More so that we don't know where Ballad is, so it could be alluded to like any of those two items, but it's likely one of those two items, Scale or Hook Beetle. Neither one has somewhat of a use. Like, even if it's a Hook Beetle, that still gives us a decent amount of chance, because we might not be able to actually finish Fire Sanctuary, might still like not be able to do it. I might get blown up here. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's kind of scary movement there. I'm pretty sure that was useless up there, so I'm just gonna not go for it. I'll like mark it as dead. Gold rupee like right back at you from a rupee. I'll still do the Mogwai Turf because I have no reason to believing that's nothing. Like, it's entirely possible there's something there, like a sword or even again a Scale or Heatle, whatever the other one is. Yeah, just because there's something in its neighbour doesn't mean there's nothing here. I think that's another thing to remember when following hints as well like that. But yeah, at this point, definitely in the context of dungeons, definitely kind of making our way towards, yeah, making our way towards Fire Sanctuary. I would do Fire Sanctuary first if I could, but we have to like climb the entire mountain, so you know. And like no real harm in doing that because these are like nice check dense checks. So, dude, if someone played a drinking game and drank like a shot every time I said check, they'd be passed out in like 10 minutes. But yeah, no, just keep going through Eldin, and yeah, just kind of we're definitely prioritizing more checks here, but for now it's just kind of like yeah, for now it's just kind of doing more checks so we can't quite get to Fire Sanctuary. Checked out in 10 minutes, yeah. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how I missed that pun, but yeah, thanks Otaku, I needed to know that pun. Eldin Trial. It's useless in these settings, but can be quite useful if you ever have like anything on. Oh, I missed that somehow. I'm gonna miss that as well. What am I doing? Hit. Thank you. That bomb flow is, it's not precise, it's just finicky. Why am I missing all my bombs though? Okay, that bomb flow is not hard. I'm just really bad at throwing bombs today, apparently. I'm pretty sure that's vanilla. Also, shouts to the key thing being over the rupees, because you're not meant to have 2 hearts at this point. I don't have a shield to see if it goes down or not. I did find the Hylian shield, but I had to say it's coming because it's useless. Boom, boom. Okay, so there's Ballad. That can't be the Spirit of the Sword, though, because the hintstone saying that was in Thunderhead. Okay, so at least that kind of wraps everything up logically there. So in this case, doing early Thunderhead was a complete waste of time. But if there was something useful in Thunderhead, then it wouldn't have been. because it would have like saved another sky trip, or maybe not. Depends what would have been in Thunderhead. But right now doing Thunderhead was completely pointless. Oh, you're gonna die as well. My brain told me to break slide here, but I'm climbing a mountain, so it's like, no, why would I do that? Okay, I'd like to get this hint first, because this songs have quite good information. Desert and village. Okay. What was the village one? What was that one? It can't be Sparrow. What was the one at village? I actually genuinely can't remember. Yeah, the Lanayru Desert, that's already been done, I think, so... That's, that was, Bellows. Do you get anything at Melara? I can't remember. We did Melara and we did Bertie, but I don't remember them being anything. I didn't write anything down about them. Which probably should have, but I didn't, so, I know Sparrow can't be Spirit of the Sword specifically in Village, because that's always hinted, I think. So I'm just gonna, like, pretend that has already been resolved. And I know the Lanayru one's already been resolved, so that's fine. Yeah, but that's weird, I don't know. I know what the village one would be, so I can't remember anything. Efficiency! It means nothing, I'll have to go back to thing anyway. For A, the check, and B, for the thing. Right, what's here? B, I know, and I know. I've done both those checks. Yeah. Sometimes hints could be annoying like that and just give you, like, useless information, but sometimes they can be quite useful. Another one of those. We still have yet to find the Eldin Spirit of the Sword, which can't be, it might be Ballad, depending on where, like, you know, it could be Ballad if there's something at Din's, but that's kind of, I don't know. Might as well get the Sparrow Crystal as well, because I have no reason to believe that that has nothing. Side note, I've been doing a lot of, dungeon entrance, and I'm looking at the open Earth Temple, I'm like, what dungeon is that? I'm like, it's Earth Temple, I know. The dungeon entrances are vanilla this time. But yeah. Damn. So yeah, if I were to be incredibly aggressive, then I probably would, like, not do these checks. But, okay, actually, if I was incredibly aggressive, I'd probably do these checks, but okay. It would depend if there was, like, a Spirit of the Sword, which there is, so I have all the reason in the world to do these checks. Like, if you would skip these checks in favor of doing dungeons that haven't entirely been hinted, then that's kind of, like, that is aggression at its finest. Okay, so there's the Spirit of the Sword right there. Gives you a little bit more peace of mind for Fire Sanctuary, but I still need that scale. Once I have that scale, we're in the like kind of combined mid game and late game. So then at that point I will prioritize the dungeons, because at that point I can beat all required dungeons, and also it'll only be a sword from go mode. Yeah, right now we are still 2 items away from go mode, so again, rushing dungeons as much as I can, whilst being smart about it and still getting nearby checks. Just the thing is that like in for Eldin, all the nearby checks are everything before Fire Sanctuary, so yeah. Anyway, after that little long-ass Eldin thing, we can finally do Summit. Hooray. Anyway, we know one sword is here. I'm just praying the scale isn't like on the last sky thing. Sky boulder. I'm just praying it's not there, because if it is there, that would be quite bad. Yeah, that's the only thing about Slingshot that we would need. Okay, first chest. I hate it when he does the animation and I expect it to be something good. Then it's just a heart container. It's not too bad. Okay, pouch chest. This is a sword, I know, so I'll remove that. So yeah, again, just one more sword and scale. So very much late game, very much going towards dungeons. And I think for late game, I haven't really like discussed it too much. I probably have in like efficiency, but for late game, if I have done all my progression, then then at that point I mostly just go back to Golden Rule, and by that point kind of like focusing on hints a lot more. Because at that point they can, because in the late game they could sometimes be a difference maker since you're only looking for like 1 or 2 items. Eldin Ore and sword at left ending chests. Okay, so now we're just looking for scale. I'll know what left ending means, I should do. I'd be surprised if I didn't know what that meant. It's left ending in fire node. That's what it's called. I get lightning and fire confused for no reason. Yeah, just looking for scale right now. Which means we get to go mode Earth, go mode Ancient System, which is not my most funnest thing to do, because you'll probably hear me when I'm in Ancient System, but I often tend to rant about go moding Ancient System, which isn't really the fault of anyone, I just don't like it because of just how the dungeon is set up. It's like, it's just really random. Okay, ding mitts and bat. Okay, good thing I had the ding life item behind ding, just as bad do it. So yeah, that's kind of why you always check hints before you do things, because that can happen. And Patrol 50, we already knew about that. Okay, so now we're gonna full clear Fire Sanctuary, which might be bad if there's nothing here, because alternatively we could go mode it. But there's so many checks, and also we have to do it anyway, so might as well. For this, I'll be doing back half, because I think in which video? There's a video. In the first video, I did front half, and that was kind of unfortunate keys, and so I'm going to try to do back half first, because it eliminates that possibility. This is mostly experimentation, so take all this with a grain of salt, but yeah. Thankfully, we do have 10 bombs, so which makes this a lot easier. I will not do map chest RBM, because it makes things a lot slower for like a full clear. Because I think getting the chest itself for full clear is better, and also there's a chance that I might not even need the chest. If I do find scale quite early on. I might not, I don't know. Yeah, definitely we're like already 2 hours in and we're still like not in go mode. This is probably like the latest go mode I've like really seen. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, just doing the bit warp, then back half, then front half. That's all we're doing today. With Fire Sanctuary in terms of back in time. Just like 1 bit. The only reason why I tend to do front half first is if I have Hook Beetle, but not mitts, because sometimes you can get Mog mitts at front half. It's unlikely, but it's possible. I should have gone low academy because that's what the thing opened anyway. Yeah. If I had hook beetle and no mogmit, then I'd normally do front half first. If I had neither, I'll do back half. No, by default I do back half, I think. At least right now I do. Although I think front half is technically faster, but it's like, you know. And also if you do find the thing at the back half, even if you do find the boss key at the back half, then it's like, it's really good in that sense, because then you just kind of just go straight to the boss door. Okay, finicky jump. Yeah, the bit warp in fire section is a bit jank. You know, my experience in Old 80% has basically told me how to do it. Movement there. Okay, so in this instance, it would have been okay doing front half first, but you know, it's not too big, not too bad. Doing back half first normally. It might be like another flight sort of instance if you do find something in front half, but it's like, you know, it's kind of like front half versus back half is just a big 50-50, honestly. Which I don't also like this dungeon in Go mode. It's this dungeon in the Ancient System I don't like because it's just one big 50-50. Then you're like, yeah. Fire Sanctuary is one big 50-50, right? Ancient System is like a bunch of small, like 25% because of how the dungeon's laid out. I'll get to it more when I'm actually at Ancient System, but yeah. Oh, nice fire dungeons, anyway. Brr. Yo, glitchy guy, thanks for the raid. We're just in the middle of recording kind of like a strategy guide for Skyward Randomizer. This is episode 2, which is mostly about like dungeons and kind of things you have to do, like progression areas. This is bad sound, but whatever. So yeah, right now we're just kind of in the late game and trying to like prioritize dungeons and stuff because that's what you'd normally do in late game. And yeah, that's basically what we're doing. Right, like we're kind of like past the like the more towards the end of Randomizer you get to, there's less commentary you can do. It's more just about there's like so much downtime towards the end. But yeah, this seed's kind of been alright. I think I don't think I've made too big decisions or too bad decisions. Okay, I'm not gonna get that. Yeah, if you get the chance, I'd say Skyward SotS Randomizer is a good it's a good randomizer to do in my opinion. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Ah, he did. So yeah, right now we're just like one item from going, which is the water dragon scale, which is required for Ancient System, which is our last dungeon. So we're just looking in this dungeon for that, and also for boss key as well, which is like kind of like standard anyway. And we do only have white sword, not the master sword, but we know where the last sword is from a hint. Okay, nice vanilla boss key. So hook beetle wasn't actually required entirely for this seed, but you know it's nice to have. And like, there might actually be something in the front half of the Fire Sanctuary, so maybe. I like to save scum plats because it's like it's kind of awkward to go back without death warping. So save scumming it kind of makes sense. Even like I mean, look how many hearts I have. I mean, I do have 10 bombs, but like the amount of health I have, it's like the dying kind of sucks right now. But yeah, again, as I said, fairly a long siege. Normally siege would be like, best case they'd be in like end game now, or like worst case they'd be wrapping up. I guess we're starting to wrap up, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of a long one. I've had a bunch of long sieges actually recently. Okay, there's this dude Plats, which is kind of annoying. Shouldn't be too bad if you know what you're doing. Plats is one of those things that could take 5 seconds or 5 years. Like, I mean, like, it's pretty easy, but if you do mess it up, it's quite annoying. Yeah, like, I'm not very well practiced at parts like this because you never had to do them in all 80%. Okay, not useful. Right. I'll actually finish this dungeon, then I'll do front half, because finishing dungeon is something I have to do. Like, you cannot avoid it, so I might as well do it. Might as well do it now whilst I'm at the back, so I avoid having to fly back. Ugh, alright. Yeah, get rid of him too with white swords. With vanilla swords, so yeah, pretty cool. Fuck. Okay, not bad. Damn, I didn't expect him to be vulnerable. Yeah, not good. That's even worse. Please don't be 3. Okay, not bad. Okay. Okay, not bad. Okay, bottle. So yeah. So again, right now we've kind of like done all the dungeons, right? And so right now we're just kind of going for we're shifting back into the mindset of like amount of checks and what I call the golden rule, which is just kind of if there are more checks, go there. So right now, you know, I have no reason to dip Fire Sanctuary, so I'll probably stay here for a little bit. Since it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is like 6 checks. It says 7, but the first one we already know is like dead. It's always a key, that first one. Unless you're key sanity, then it's like something else. But yeah. Thanks for good luck, Eggerson. Yeah, showing some scouts with rando. We're almost done. We're just looking for like war dragon scale, and we're good. And hopefully we'll find it sooner rather than later. Yeah, I do agree randos are fun. Like, competitive randos are also pretty good in my opinion. Yeah, randomizers in general, they're really nice replayability. Nice, bonk. Okay, I know this is a key because it always is a key. It has to be a key, otherwise like you can progress. I was about to think, okay, maybe Ballad was Spirit of the Sword, and maybe Scale is at the end at the end, but actually no, because we already did get Hook Beetle, so that can't be the case. Yeah, I mean, like, fair play, Glitch Guy, but yeah, it's like... Learning it isn't too difficult, I think. Like, I know the best way. Oh my god, dude! I don't know the best way of learning it. I guess like maybe kind of like trying to go to like 100% playthrough like a few times to kind of get used to it. Or you could just kind of one good idea is like if you're just wanting to learn random specific is like I'm like dead inside. Anyway, yeah. One video that I plan to do in the near future is a check percent playthrough where I go through all of the checks in the game. And by all of them, I mean like all of them. Not just in standard, but in like all the checks, so... if you can find a video of that from Skyward Sword, I'd like really recommend looking at that. I don't think such one exists yet. But yeah, it's either that or looking for like 100% playthrough and just like going through the game and being familiar with it. Those are two things I'd recommend for learning side quests. But don't you dare do that twice. Like, I think I felt the same way about kind of Twilight Princess. Like, I didn't know a single thing about side quests, but I think that, like, once I like started to play the randomizer more and sort like watched other people play, things kind of started to click into place. Nice. Fuck. There we go. Kind of dumb. I missed. Nice. Okay, because I know these guys are likely going to drop arrows at the end, I can kind of use the bow here. Push arrow. We are muscled here, so we don't have to go to what's it? We don't have to go to the desert to get our last sword. We already got that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. If I do get to like that place, I'll probably end up getting the sword anyway because TMS is like really convenient. So yeah, we're literally all we're just looking for right now is the scale. We're probably going to get bottle percent before that, to be honest. key. I hate this dude. Why does he exist? Who at Nintendo thought he would be a good idea to exist? Like, really? Anyway. Well, it's kind of annoying that I missed this shot earlier as well. I think I only got one. I mean, basically, Otaku, that's like basically the reason. Why else would something be created? If it wasn't despite an 18-year-old kid in the UK. Like Miyamoto was like, yep, fuck this guy when he like does this on a very specific day or whatever. I don't fucking know. Probably why they created the spiders as well, to be honest. Like, why did they have to exist? Okay, now I have to look in the second trap mongrel chest, or the map chest, or whatever you would call it. I guess because we didn't do Bumble, it might have actually been faster in hindsight to do the back in time. Although back in time does take a while, so maybe not. Or yeah, again, this takes a while, so maybe. I'll probably do like a timing with both of these to see what's faster. And just on that note, I should probably time more things. Well, yeah, the fact that dude's gone, that's not gonna mess up the chest, is it? If it does, that's gonna kind of suck, and I didn't know that. It might have actually messed up the chest, to be honest. If the chest is in here, I'm just going to assume there's nothing and just pray, honestly. I'd rather not deal with it. Actually, no, it's already... Okay, it's already here. So that's fine. Okay, it is already here. Thank God. Okay, so there's nothing anyway. Okay, so there's no scale in here. Damn. Nice. Okay, so I'll probably go to Night Academy because there's like so much stuff I can do right there. Ooh, fledge crystals might be required for once. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube. The first video is already on YouTube about efficiency. This video, and as I said previously, is about specifically dungeons and progression. Which is kind of funny because we've done all those, and so, you know. Right now there's not much to talk about. Because we've done everything, and the only thing we can't do is locked by go mode. Yeah, these will be on my YouTube channel. Same name as Twitch. Yeah, right. This might be the day Fledge Crystals is finally something. Yeah, first I'll just do Thunderhead, just in case. Yeah, then I'll probably go Skyloft. Then I'll probably go... then probably Desert, because at least I know there's a sword there, so it's a little bit better. So I run the vanilla game as well. I do run the vanilla game. I haven't been running it that often recently, but I do run it. I actually started running the vanilla game for years, and then when the rando came on along, I kind of like prioritized that. But I do still do vanilla runs from time to time, just not any right now. But I do plan on getting back into 80% again, because that record still isn't too optimized. But yeah. Oh, here. If that was scale, that would have made my day. But to be honest, if I had to do one for the rest of my life, out of vanilla or rando, it would probably be rando, because rando has a lot more things that I enjoy about it. Not to say that I don't enjoy vanilla. I do really enjoy vanilla. It's like really good fun. But rando is just kind of where my heart lies in terms of speedrunning. Yeah, I do still do vanilla runs from time to time. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a rando player nowadays. I thought I went above that, but apparently not, lol. I'm gonna pay for Fledge Crystals because I can. Why did I say no? The fuck? Yeah, this is one of those end games that's like very much just like guessing basically, because there's a few checks here, there's like a little bit less amount of checks here. It's just this is just like glorified guessing at this point. But I'm mostly just sticking to the golden rule of just more checks, go there, and there's more checks in Skyloft, so I'm at Skyloft basically. That's the reasoning here, and it's like if there were hints, I'd be a little bit more aggressive about certain plays. Like if there was like if there was like a hint for, I don't know, like say like Sky or something, then yeah, I'd probably do it. I somehow remember a hint for Sky, but I didn't write it down, so I don't think so. Don't know, I'm using the links from First League or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there wasn't anything in Sky specifically. If there was, I don't know if like, I'd probably crack down on it. And I'd be in go mode actually if there was something in Sky, but I don't think so. Hints are on hint stones. They're essentially gossip stones, but their text boxes have changed to rando specific hints. So they'll say, like, what is it? It's just like, so they'll say, it's like, oh, like, the spirit of the sword guides you to like fucking Skyloft, and that is as a translation, that's basically something is like logically required on Skyloft, and it's stuff like that, and it also tells you like what certain checks are, like Leviathan's X and stuff like that. Yeah, oh yeah, it's very similar to OOT. I know that, like, without saying that it was ripped off OOT, I'm gonna say that, like, it's a huge inspiration from OOT, the hint system in this game. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, it basically just, like, rips it off, and we just, like, rename some stuff. This must be a great seed. Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely fucking fantastic. Most seeds would be done by now, actually, yeah, honestly. We might be seeing the Fledge Crystals, to be honest. We might be seeing that. I don't really think there's anything that can be done, like, do here. This is just kind of like... There's one chick here, there's one chick here, there's one chick here, good luck. So this is just, like, I don't know. This is just classic last locationing things out of your control, honestly. Like, I went for the informed choice, but right now it's just kind of like, I don't know. The game is doing that thing where it's like, we're just gonna place this item in like a very specific spot just to like fuck with you or something. But yeah, once we're done with Skyloft, it's essentially either Lanayru or that one thing in Sky. Like, once we're done with Skyloft, it's basically a 50-50. I should have probably slept tonight, whatever, I'm done. Yeah, definitely the longest seed I've done in a while. Yeah, other than like a potentially questionable dip at the start of LMF, basically this kind of just like mostly this made sense. Okay, is this it? No. Fuck, where is like anything useful? Okay, we have Sparrowt, then it's a fifth, then it's like, okay, Sparrowt, then Lanayru, then, the rock into the sky. All three of them are just, like, one check. Ugh. I'm hoping it's not in the sky, because it's like, I don't know, like, because I specifically orphaned Slingshot for that. Yeah, one day Fledge will be required. Like, I mean, again, I've seen Fledge being required before, or at least having a sword. But yeah, like, it's very rare to see Fledge crystals hard required. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that it's not on the one boulder in the sky, because I know where Spiral Charge is. It's on Owlan, but I just orphaned it because where am I going, Sparrow? Because like, you know, there's only 2 checks in the sky, and there's like way more checks in Eldin. It's like logically, it's made way more sense to do that. So I'm really hoping it's not going to be on like fucking on that boulder. Right, is this it? Yes, finally. 2 hours and 32 minutes in VR Go mode, finally. And now there's not much to say other than we're going. So yeah, it did end up being... Honestly, had I actually done Slingshot, this seed would have been longer. Which is, like, nuts. But I basically like, skipped Slingshot and Owlan, so yeah, that's nice. I like... Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is just a long seed, and, like... Scale was just placed right at like the end, so you know. Also, yeah, Ruby Tablet was on Eldin Trial as well. Thankfully, we didn't have too much trouble finding Pharaoh's Courage and Harp, but it was still there, so that was annoying. Yeah, we won't get TMS because I already know TMS is like the other check in area that we can get right now. So Ancient System is kind of like bunched up into like, so there's like one side of the room which is like whip hooks and vines. The other's like waterfall and bokoblin. The other is boss key and whip, and the other is like east part. So you're presented with like, how many is that? One. Dude, I have to count. Dude, I'm like Jazzix now. 1, 2, 3. It's like, yeah, 4 different options, and the game goes, good luck, find the boss key. So essentially like 25, 25, 25, 25, basically. So that's annoying. This is why I hate Ancient System Go mode, because it's just guessing. When you're not in Go mode, it's like actually a really nice dungeon, because it's short, but it's still like, I don't know. He dead. Is the boss going to be here? Because it's been here for like the last 2 seeds. Okay, it's just that. Okay. One thing I don't like it being is I don't like it being on east part, because then I always last location east part because it's so much more likely you can skip it. Which is great for races, because just about everyone does east part first except me. Yeah, I know. Random's weird, because it's like, I know a lot of people criticize some of my decisions, and I'm like, nah, bro, you're not on my level, and then I lose, and it's like, okay, well, maybe you're better than me. We got the 1 hop, finally, and also he died. And he died. Yes, that was like the best toilet flush I've seen, ever. Best ever toilet flush, let's go. But yeah, I don't know, I don't know. I know a lot of my decisions aren't like that. Aren't too popular. I know like a lot of people kind of like shit on my decisions. I don't know. I know in commentary that I kind of I know in commentary for like on like restreams I tend to confuse commentators a lot. And then there's usually like one person in chat that actually like explains what I'm doing. I know I find that funny. Woo map. Okay, that's annoying. Yeah, he kills me too slowly, so I'm gonna just like damage down for a bit. Cool. Okay, now we do system quick. So that's cool. Yeah, always save before system clip, because sometimes you can soft lock and that would be quite bad. Don't know why I took out the whip, that was like really pointless. It's either whip or an east part. I'm hoping whip, because that'd be really convenient. Yeah, and yeah, east part would just like infuriate me. I don't want it to be an east part. No one likes east part. When I'm jumping up that guy, I always want to make sure, Janon, as his name is, I always want to make sure I target them so it, like, works. Thank God. Thank God I didn't have to like break my table because it's an east part. Yeah, like fuck east part. No one likes that part. I would say all my homies hate east part, but actually that's not the case. No, like no one else hates east part as much as I do. Yeah, I mean, we found earrings fairly early on in Beetle, and I almost forgot to mistrack them again. Yeah, I guess some things just don't change with practice, I guess. I just have Master Sword, so it makes this bearable. Dude, he, like... He dead for first phase. Yeah, I just noticed there's like a part of like my laptop that's cracking. That's great. Anyway. Anyway, back to run. Yeah. So annoying. Alright, so yeah, so as I'm finishing that last dungeon, might as well summarize what the entire video is about. So this is like an entire video summary on dungeons and like kind of just general progression. So for the early game, if you have places that like, if you have like dungeons, it's best to just kind of like treat them as like any other place. Don't know why, God, that's the thing anyway. Yeah, if you have like if you have just like required dungeons at the beginning of the game, it's better to treat them as just general areas to go to. And if there's more checks, you should still go there and not like put it off. Even if it does end up meaning that you might double dip. And so yeah, towards the mid or late game, it is recommended that you should not double dip. That's never double dip first of all. But during mid or late game, it's recommended that you kind of rush dungeons if you can beat them. More so because then it's like at that point it's the more you put off dungeons, the more you're kind of orphaning dungeons, and there's been a lot of instances where people have won races because they've done dungeons early and oh look, there's their final sword. So yeah, I guess yeah. So yeah, kind of like summary of summary. Early game, treat them as like any other place. Mid to late, rush them basically. And of course, and this isn't just dungeons; it's also progression. Like the song from Impa. That one's also pretty, like, hot. Like, you saw me do that earlier as well. Because it's, like, yeah, required. And if you end up like out of progression, then it's best to kind of like fall back on efficiency, and I mentioned all that stuff in the first video, basically. And so yeah, the next video I believe I should be recording on Thursday, unless I'm like doing something surprise that day, which I shouldn't be. I should be able to stream Thursday. That will be entirely based on logic. Now, logic is actually a big part of strategy. So, you know, if you want to watch that, watch that. If not, then whatever, it'll be uploaded on YouTube. So if you miss it, I don't really give a shit. Or if you don't really watch it, I don't give a shit. It's like, you know, if these are for people who kind of like want to like have a little bit more insight. Again, I don't pretend to be the best player in the world, but these are kind of like these videos are especially gonna be good if you want kind of like another kind of viewpoint from things, and so you can kind of like I do recommend from this video you also do your own experimentation in the game itself. Find out what works, find out what doesn't, find out what's more likely to get you like good good times, and yeah. Again, this video is only meant to become like another kind of set of things that I go by, and which might help you. So 245. I can't remember the last time I didn't sub 245 or standard seed. It's been like ages since I haven't done that. So yeah, just entering endgame now. Yeah, it's been a quite long seed. But yeah, it could have been longer if I'd done Slingshot. It could have been like way worse. I do have any Master Sword, so Skyward Strike and Spit Attacks are my friends. Oh my god. Yeah, no, myself, this is just kind of like standard, or like standard in-game horde Gearham through Demise. And this is like a big execution part, and I'll obviously discuss a lot more about the execution when I get to it. Yeah, because I have so much health, there isn't really like, there's not too much to worry about, so it's kind of like, you know, running through everything. Chances of me dying are fairly low. I have to, like as a top one, I have to kind of like fuck up a lot to die here, so I should be right. How was it? The seed itself wasn't too bad. It was just long, I think. Well, the only real time loss I had was really just double dipping LMF. But that was kind of like, that wasn't even that too bad, because it's like, you know, I just had to like run through the dungeon twice, which was only like about like a minute of time loss. Everything else kind of made sense in terms of what plays. And I think that the scale location now was just kind of annoying with where it was. But I don't really think I could have like done anything different. Really? Okay, thank you, game. Dude, like, my face itches for, like, no reason. Anyway, I hate it when that happens. Anyway. Yeah, I'm looking at, like, my... This is, like, completely off topic. I'm looking at my, like... I swear the crack is getting bigger every second. It doesn't... I don't think it is. It just looks like it is. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know how it happened. Like, why is this happening now? To be fair, my laptop's like 3 years old. Coming out to 4 actually, so, you know. It breaking isn't entirely... It's not entirely, like, a surprise. You know. I personally like it when laptops are intact. I mean, yeah, it's still usable. I'm still, like, doing streams here, so, you know. Broken laptop all the way for you, yeah. I mean, like, you guys saw like what laptop I was using in this like Skulltula video I released a few days ago. This is still that laptop from like 2018. Like the exact same one. Duct tape, yeah. Damn. Now it looks like the mouse pad. It's like everything's at the mouse pad. Now it looks like the mouse pad is just falling apart. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I'll get that checked out, but for now I'm just gonna kill the mine real quick. Anyway, that's cool. So yeah, that's the video on dungeons. Hopefully it did. Hopefully it gave you like some, at least some more insight into this and stuff. Yeah, I do not get this. Why are you breaking now? Anyway, yeah. So that was that. Yeah, cool. Next video again should be released on Thursday about logic, and then I'll be making a 4th one that'll be nicely edited, nice and like short, not like these 2-hour, 3-hour ones. It'll be like nice and short, and it'll be about execution. So yeah, those are to come. Nice.